the world of fashion, where creativity meets innovation and beauty goes hand in hand with style. On Fashion Wednesday, we delve into the journeys of influential voices in the fashion and beauty industries here in Ghana. From emerging designers to seasoned professionals, we explore their stories, their crafts, and vision for fashion's future. Get the inside scoop on the latest trends, expert styling tips, and beauty hacks to elevate your look. Join me every week as we celebrate the art, the passion, and the people behind the scenes who make fashion more than what we just wear. This is Fashion Wednesday, where fashion comes to life. Catch Fashion Wednesday every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. on MX24 TV.
Visit www.mx24online.com for news, exclusive behind-the-scenes videos, up-to-the-minute sports updates, and the latest broken pen stories now. Experience more of MX24 Online. Visit mx24online.com today. MX24. Fun, fearless, and factual.
I want to find out one thing. What happened with you and Cookie?
One day Cookie calls me and says, bro, I want to do my solo album. Ghana, if somebody go, blah, blah, even for the media space right now, go talk your mind right now, they go touch it, they go blacklist you. Event organizers, they go, then boom, balance money.
Politics was a part of our group. One of the times we featured on 2010 last. Fluid, so I called him. Speak to my manager. Where?
Patience is a virtue that carries a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Always know that you live to fight another day.
I feel say we musicians, one thing we like do, we know how to create. Yeah. But the business part, we know the add them to whatever we do.
Me right now, as I stand here, everything is about marketing. If you like do
the people I was looking up to, these two boys called Fame. Their work looked like they had like they were like 17 people or 20 people.
Long live high school play. We are more than
This is your boy SDK, and I'm here on MX24. It's fun. It's fearless. And it's factual.
What's up, everyone? My name is Adina Thembi, and you're watching MX24. We are fun, fearless, and factual. Get it right.
What's up? My name is Akwabwa, and you guys are watching MX24. Keep watching. I love you.
They say the portion they gave me was unknown. What I will become was never ever told. Now you're watching the beast in me unfold. I'm immortal. Dracula untold. What's up, people? This is your rap goddess, Eno Baroni, and you watching MX24. Keep watching it. One tear say, dead.
Welcome back from. This is still the AM Club coming to you live from the MX24 studios, Oleander Streets, East Legon, Accra. It's now time for Coffee Daily, and we're going to be looking at what is trending around the world, of course, on the X. But before we get into that, let's talk about something we all want, and that is success. We all want it. We all desire it. Everybody wants it. Everybody dreams of it. We all aspire to succeed and make a mark in life. We push ourselves to excel in daring challenges along the way just to be successful. When work gets tough, and I bet it will, you need that extra boost to keep pushing forward. And on those days where you need somebody to be there for you, Cowboy Coffee will be by your side. It's a rich, creamy 3-in-1 blend with a great taste and aroma that would aid kickstart your day. So whether you're working or just creating beautiful memories with friends and loved ones, Cowboy Coffee will be there with you every single moment. So no matter where you're at, as you chase after those goals, keep Cowboy Coffee close to stay motivated and going. Remember, Cowboy Coffee is with you every single moment. Now let's move straight to what is trending on XJ.
All right, so let's get into what's trending. A lot of football would be trending because of UEFA Champions League. Yesterday, some teams played, and well, some teams are out as we speak. Today, it's going to continue. Let's see what will happen. But more vim to Manchester City. But I think this one, the Real Madrid go take them. Anyways, so DDEP is still trending from yesterday. Rihanna is trending. Okay. Monaco, Club Brugge, okay, Feyenoord, Company, Auditor General is trending. Dumso still trending. Yesterday, I couldn't watch any of the matches because, yes, I was in Dumso.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You reached your day?
Yeah.
Nice.
Council of State, definitely trending. Okay, so first of all, let's get into Auditor General. All right. I think it also has to do with the Council of State because he's applauded. Yes, so former Auditor General, that's coming in from Joy News, Yao Domelevo, praises President Mahama for declaring his assets, but urges him to undergo a lifestyle audit to prevent public officials from concealing properties through relatives and friends.
Given to the Auditor General, because that goes more or less to support what people have all along been saying, that you put your declaration in an envelope, seal it, and give it to the Auditor General, which is not the case anyway. They should have gone through the entire process so that they capture it, because you are supposed to verify the signature and be sure that the form has been properly completed. That at least should have been done, but it was not done. But it's a good gesture or good sign that the president has declared. And the most important thing is that he has given a deadline to his appointees and other public office holders to also declare their assets and liabilities. But to be honest with you, I think 31st of March is too far away, because the Constitution provides that it should be declared before you take office. So you should not be able to give somebody the 31st of March. Some will argue that at 550 allows 6 months, but at 550 is at variance or contradicts the Constitution. And I have a letter in my possession which was written by the former Attorney General Gloria Kufu, confirming that the provisions of the provisions of subsection 4.1 of the Act 550 contradicts the Constitution. However, we have all been upholding and following that. I'm also happy the President says those who don't declare, he's going to give them a punish or ask them to leave office. I think that should cut across everybody, and I think that will be good. Except that I would like to say this declaration is good. We must add to it, lifestyle audit and the reversal of burden of proof. If we don't do these two things so that we can audit and find out how did you get this money, and we don't do that, people are going to hide their resources or their assets with their families and friends. So everybody who is suspected of being an ally of a political or public office holder must be subjected to lifestyle audit.
All right. Okay, so that's it. Let's see what people were saying under this. Life is a Rent says it had happened, it is happening, and it will happen. Mark my words. Bafo Bismarck says this is no news. Nanado declared his assets within weeks, not in months. Okay. Isaac Kwekueso says very critical. Junior says declaring assets, you are in office. All right. So Africa Fact Zone says Ghana's President John Mahama has ordered all government appointees to declare their assets before March 31st or get fired. This comes after he submitted his asset declaration forms to the Auditor General. And under this, Chinedu Okoli says give him 2 years and see how he will return to the status quo. African leaders are fraudsters. Ivan says, this won't happen in Kenya, my friend. Blanco says, trust me, most of them will get fired. Ella Bay says that the way things are going, the MPP will take a very long while before they come to power. Ace Tara says, declaring assets should be standard for all public officials, no hiding wealth. Frenzy James says, waiting, they do this one. All these African leaders, now the beginning of the tenure, them go they do like sins. Wait till like 2 years and see his true color show. Miss Chelsea says we need more of this across the continent. Samuel Ayodotun says good development. Carlos Neto says nice policy. All right. So these are the comments that are coming in. What do you think about the assertions that people think that, oh, when you come into office, at least the first year, second year, you streamline things, but from the third to the fourth, then it looks like, yeah, everything will be left ajar. What do you think about that?
Right. Quite honestly, I think a lot of people are saying this based on what we have seen in the past. A lot of people are saying this also based on the fact that it's in Africa that we're at. Nobody really holds anybody accountable for anything. So it's hard to believe that this is possible. It's hard to believe that they'll follow through with what they have started. But I think so far I still stand where I have been standing since the beginning of this year, that the moves that are being taken are very progressive, and if followed through like this, we have success staring at us in the face. So. Okay,
all right. Yes, Olele still says President Mahama wants appointees declare assets by March 31st or face removal. This directive is part of his renewed commitment to fighting corruption, following his own asset declaration to the Auditor General.
And good to punish corruption. A more effective way of addressing the canker is preventing it from occurring in the first place. I honestly believe that if properly curated and enforced, the assets declaration process can become a sustainable tool for tackling corruption. Corruption by nature is insidious and thrives under the cover of darkness. The more light that is shown on it, the more likely that it will be fought successfully. I've also taken this step to send an unmistakable signal to all public office holders, especially those that I have appointed.
So yes, that's what it is. And just quickly to see what people are saying, Mohammed Yassin says the Ghana we prayed and wished for, His Excellency JDM, is overworking. I don't understand the overworking.
In a positive way.
No, but he's working. but over.
And said this, I think it's really the way he's going about things. I mean, a lot of people expected that he would do things differently, but not at this pace.
Yeah. Okay. Isaac Kwekwe says, for more transparent and public trust, it must be published as well.
Like you want to see how much is in John
What do you see how much the president has?
Ghanaians.
Yeah.
But I think my sister was telling me yesterday that my sister is with the same school of thought that if you are declaring, let us all know how much you have.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be handling our money, so let us know. I think that would be like, I don't know if it's far-fetched, but I think that would even make it that would make it news. All presidents are supposed to declare, all states, position holders are supposed to declare their assets really and truly. But if you go the extra mile to say that, oh, I have 2 cedis in my account, and I have a Swiss account, I have a this account, I have a that account, and this how much is in it, and I've been in a position for 8 years, so it's definitely not your money, and this how much I have. What people would then appreciate, I guess that's when people would really appreciate this move. But it's standard practice. It's like when you come here, you're supposed to declare what you have. So we don't know what's in there. Only you and Attorney General knows what's in there, or Auditor General knows what's in there. So that's one day. It's no big of a deal. But anyway, but then again, like it's usually done. It's supposed to be done behind closed doors, right? Like you just hear that president has declared his assets. End of story.
Well, although they are in office, they are also human beings. That's one. Two, privacy's sake. I mean, so if fair enough, you become a public, you assume a public office, but then before you assuming it, I mean, all these things, as you say clearly, and yet state media sort of here. So it's in between me and the Auditor General, but it's on record, so at least it's there. So just in case maybe there's somewhere that maybe there's suspicion that okay, you've moved beyond that, and maybe you're trying to get some state property or something, and you're being investigated, then we can come back to the books because it's still there.
That is what it is for.
Yeah.
It's just there so that you don't go and do anything.
Because myself and any other person should not be able to know how much
we don't.
This person is earning or this person is getting. I mean, for what reason? Only until maybe there's some suspicion here and there. Anyways, all right, so that wraps it up.
I'm actually surprised that A$AP Rocky is not trending, and okay, I think he's probably trending with Rihanna, maybe. Well, let's get into our stories for this morning.
Ayo, he's not been found guilty in T, and yet, I mean, well, he's not been found guilty, so it's fair enough.
But also OSP should be trending. I'm surprised he is not trending because he has revoked his declaration
of
the
think
former.
It's a U-turn.
It's not a U-turn.
It's not a U-turn.
It's not a U-turn.
But that's what, you know what I'm saying? When I say people think, then it's part of the trends that I saw.
Yeah.
You get it?
It's not a U-turn. You see, there's a thing that I think one of my Nigerian friends told me. He said the illiteracy level in Ghana is a little higher than what is in Nigeria. And we're doing the comparisons. The average Ghanaian, right, would look at and would see a news item and would just take the, what's it called, the
headlines.
The headlines, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Don't read this story.
Don't read this story. No, get straight into
and our news and writers and our journalists, sensationalism means, you have a more dramatic headline, and then once you see it, I saw the OSP takes a U-turn headline, and all of that. Listen, I think this is misinformation, I'll tell you. And if I see the GGA president fighting very hard for, these are some of the things he should also be fighting for. That we should give very accurate and precise headlines. Like, there's no point for the sensationalism. There's really no point. And he asks for one thing. He asks that declare where you're at. Let us know where you're at. Give us timelines as to when you can return to this country. And you're not a fugitive to
and so
justice.
He has done that.
And he is not a fugitive. He didn't declare him a fugitive of the law or anything of that sort. He says justice. So they're asking for a certain clarity and information, and you didn't give. So we're saying that you're a fugitive. Now you're giving us that clarity. We know when we're going to see you. We know when we're sitting with you. And so you're no longer a fugitive. End of story. Akpa show. I don't know where all the drama is coming from. I was watching some of the shows online and social media commentators. I'm like, oh my God, I hate this. I really don't like this. But anyway, so I'm sure ASAP Rocky will be trending with Rihanna over there.
Anyways, well, that wraps it up for what's trending on X. And now we get into our stories. In the stories, our guest staying is on standby to take us through. We'll be right back.
Visit www.mx24online.com for news, exclusive behind-the-scenes videos, up-to-the-minute sports updates, and the latest broken pen stories now. Experience more of MX24 Online. Visit mx24online.com today. MX24. Fun, fearless, and factual.
Happy Fashion Wednesday. Welcome to the AM Club. My name is Augustine Adam Senti. Once you see me on the screen, you know what time is it. Well, it's time for us to recap what's been happening here in Ghana over the past 24 hours. I do this with Mimi and Kojo. Good morning.
Good morning.
Why are we twinning?
I know, right? I was just waiting for this moment. I was like, what's going on? Was there a memo I didn't get?
There's no
I seem to be missing quite a number of things lately.
No memo. You're also brightening now. You're giving us yellow, and I think yellow suits you.
This is not yellow. This is
what?
Lemon green.
There'll still yellow.
Oh.
It's getting yellowish.
When will it get there?
It's getting there.
It's in the process of getting
there. It's in the process of getting yellow.
It's getting there. But anyways.
How are you doing?
Too many things to go on.
Too many things.
No, but I like the Ghana 2025. I like it. I like
we just hope that, the next 4 years, and yet, just the beginning.
You people should prophesy positively.
Oh, we are.
Because you see, the funny thing is that, do you know the funny thing? Is that if they mess up, they mess us up.
True.
They don't get affected like that.
True.
They probably will get a bad name, but that's just about it. You people called the SWAL government whatever names. Right now, they are free. They are in Harvard. They are going places. They are lecturing at Harvard, guys. Yo.
I heard one of them who said, is it more or less like, am I free?
And that's how they are free from your claws and your insults. Every single one people have insulted them
anymore. So, but when I heard it, I was like, okay, so then why do you also come back vying for a position or
it's not.
wanting to serve as
Power is sweet. Don't get it twisted.
No, but if power is sweet, but you for watch the 7 parts. Anyway. So if you can't wait power be sweet where you know they do your job there, then we'll down there, we'll go insult you.
My guy, the fact is that right now they are free. They're traveling all around the world.
All around, true.
You know, touring the world. You know,
chilling.
So really and truly, people, you can go and
bend the sea.
Okay, so what's in the news?
So you've already gone through a few of them. The president has declared his assets and asked, you know, his appointees, all appointees, to also do same, latest by March 31st, 2025. We also saw from what you just went through that the president has sworn in the Council of State. Well, the full list has been provided, except that of the Ashanti and Northeast regions. You know, earlier this week, following what happened last week in the Ashanti region, the violence that happened, and then the tie that happened in the Northeast region, we haven't heard anything from the EC. In as much as we've heard, you know, reports, especially in the Ashanti region, where the former NDC chairman for the region won the elections, but we haven't seen any official statement or official declaration from the EC. It's giving us questions as to the validity of the name from the Ashanti region and if truly he has won the elections. So those two were not part of the list or the part of the persons who were sworn in yesterday. Why? Because we have not heard anything from the EC, especially after the elections. We haven't really and truly heard anything.
My concern is that what are the implications of this? Does that mean we're going to hold a whole different ceremony to swear them in if their elections are declared? I don't know how that works.
So they will be sworn in, but it will not be as grand as what we saw yesterday. But then they'll also be sworn in, probably in a mini ceremony. Mind you, there's the deputy ministers who are also yet to be sworn in. So probably they could be added to that team and then just do it together. But then aside that, Sam George, Minister for Communications, Technology and Innovations, has also, you know, directed the National Communications Authority to, you know, revoke the licenses of some 5 or 6 stations. Seven stations. Seven stations that, you know, are running on, well, let's say, illegitimate frequency waves. He's asked that they revoke their licenses and investigations be done into it. It's generated a lot of questions as to how these stations, and some of them have been in operation for over 2 years. It's generated a lot of conversations about how media houses or how the media in Ghana is able to operate, given the fact that 7 media, it's not even 2, 7 are running on illegal frequency basis. It's generated a lot of conversation, and then, well, Ghanaians are hoping that the minister, together with the NTA, would cut down on these kind of things to make sure that the space is sanitized, so we have a clear media, because the media has already been in the space, like we've been in the bashing space for a very long time because of things we say, things some of us say, things some of us do, and certain things like this as we're running illegally. Well, it's generated a lot of conversation, and Ghanaians hope that going forward, you know, the minister and the NTA will put things together to sanitize the whole system.
Right. You can get into the stories.
Right, now let's get into the stories. My name is Augustine Edem Kobitise. Now let's begin off with the president, where President John Dramani Mahama has officially declared his assets to the Auditor General. Now, the declaration was made public on Tuesday, February 18, 2025, at the Jubilee House. Now, the asset declaration, a requirement under Ghana's Public Office Holders Declaration of Assets and Disqualification Act, provides a detailed account of Mahama's financial holdings, properties and other assets. In a brief statement, Mahama emphasized the importance of transparency in rebuilding public trust. He called on all appointees to follow his lead by declaring their assets latest by March 31, 2025, or face sanctions including dismissal from office.
I would privately have presented these forms to the Auditor General in fulfillment of my statutory obligation. I've taken this step of presenting these forms publicly as a way of injecting some openness and transparency into the process of assets declaration. I've always maintained that while it is all well and good to punish corruption, a more effective way of addressing the canker is preventing it from occurring in the first place. I honestly believe that if properly curated and enforced, the assets declaration process can become a sustainable tool for tackling corruption. Corruption by nature is insidious and thrives under the cover of darkness. The more light that is shone on it, the more likely that it will be fought successfully. I've also taken this step to send an unmistakable signal to all public office holders, especially those that I have appointed, that I take the declaration of assets very seriously and expect full compliance from them. I've asked the Chief of Staff to send word to all appointees to ensure that they declare their assets by the end of the first quarter of this year, that is by 31st March 2025. I wish to stress that any appointee failing to meet this deadline would face severe sanctions, not excluding removal from office. In times past, I would privately have presented these forms to the Auditor General in fulfillment of my statutory obligation.
Right, so that was President John Dramani Mahama speaking at the ceremony where he declared his assets to the Auditor General and urged all appointees through the Chief of Staff to ask all appointees to declare their assets latest by March 31, 2025. Now let's still stay on President John Dramani Mahama because he has sworn in some 31 distinguished individuals as members of the Council of State. Now the notable members on the council include former Speaker of Parliament Edward Do Ajaho, who serves as the chairman of the council, as well as the former Chief Justice Sophia Ekufu. She's also serving as a member of the Council of State. Now, the ceremony held at the Jubilee House in Accra on Tuesday, February 18, marks a significant moment in Ghana's governance, as these members are expected to provide valuable advice and support to the president on various national issues. Now, let's run you through the list of persons who have been, sworn in as part of the members of the Council of State. So, top on the list is Justice Sophia Ekufu. She is the former Chief Justice of Ghana and she represents the Eastern Region. Mohammed Ahmed Al-Hassan, former Inspector General of Police, Upper West Region. Air Marshal Michael Samson Oje, retired former Chief of Defense Staff, Savannah Region. Ojeaho Yao JB II, President of the National House of Chiefs, Western North Region. Now, other members include Dasebre Boama Dako, Chief of Achim Kukrentumi, Eastern Region. Osaberima Kwesi Atha II, Paramount Chief, Ogwa Traditional Area, the Central Region. Justice Vida Amankwanwa Akoto Banfo, former Justice of the Supreme Court, the Greater Accra Region. Her Royal Highness Mankpakpa Jakpa, Paramount Chief of the Mankpa Traditional Area, Savannah Region. Mr. Callistus Avoka, former MP, Zebela Constituency, Upper East Region. Right Honorable Edward Kobla Doa Jaho, former Speaker of Parliament, the Volta Region. Dr. Eunice Brookman Emisa, former Minister of Health, Central Region. Mrs. Betty Maud Dusu, former Attorney General, Ashanti Region. Cynthia Komle Ajete, the Greater Accra Region. Mrs. Molly Enim Ado, former Ambassador, and she represents the Greater Accra Region. Na Sa Jemfua II, Queen Mother of Ayiman Traditional Area, Bono Region. Now the regional, those who won the regional elections, Maxwell Boache, he's an entrepreneur, representing the Western Region. Hakim Adai, he's a miner representing the Central Region. Nene Drolo Boso Adamte I, he's an educator and a business executive. He represents the Greater Accra Region. Gabriel Adovi Kwabla Tanku Kwamega Atople, he's a businessman and represents the Volta Region. Korang Evelyn, businesswoman, Eastern Region. Michael Ado, entrepreneur and a businessman, Western North Region. Otre Yao, he's a farmer and represents the Hafo Region. Dr. Kusi Boache Yadom, he's a consultant and represents the Bono Region. Pim Yao, he's an accountant and represents the Bono East Region. Richard Kings Atipo, he's an entrepreneur and a businessman representing the Oti Region. Alhaji Muhammad Mumuni, he's a lawyer representing the Northern Region. Abudu Seidu Samson, he's a teacher representing the Savannah Region. Michael Kwame Mumuni, he's a farmer representing the Upper East Region. Thomas Moore Adaili is a consultant and representing the Upper East region. Now, the blank spaces, the Northeast region and the Ashanti region are yet to be declared. Why? Because the Electoral Commission, after the elections held on Tuesday, on Monday, have not declared the winners of Ashanti region won the elections for that. For the Ashanti region, well, his name has not been included. Well, these two persons have not yet been sworn in. We hope that subsequently from today throughout to the end of the week, we get to see what the Electoral Commission has to say about this, what the presidency also has to say about this, because Mahama emphasized the crucial role of the council in offering non-partisan insights and serving as a reservoir of experience for the executive arm of government.
Nothing less than selfless service, constructive dialogue, and unwavering patriotism. Our nation faces complex challenges, including economic distress, social cohesion issues, and the need to strengthen our democratic institutions. In addressing these issues, your voices must be heard not in mere rhetoric, but in insightful, actionable, and transformative guidance that will propel our nation forward. As you take your oath of office today, I urge you to be guided by the principles of integrity, objectivity, and above all, the national interest. Let your deliberations be marked by sincerity, your advice be rooted in wisdom, and your service be inspired by the supreme welfare of the people of Ghana. I also wish to draw attention to heightened expectation of all who serve in public office. Ghanaians have indicated their revulsion for poor governance and have come to expect nothing short of quality administration of their affairs. In recent times, the Council of State has come under criticism from an expectant public who perceive their work as unsatisfactory and merely one designed to rubber stamp executive decisions. Some have even questioned the very relevance of the Council of State and called for it to be scrapped. I hold out hope that your tenure as Council of State members will convince those who may doubt your functional necessity about your importance and put to rest any such perceptions. On behalf of the people of Ghana and on my own behalf, I congratulate you on your appointment. I'm confident that with your collective wisdom, we'll continue to build a nation that upholds justice, progress, freedom, and unity. May God bless you in your service, and may He bless our...
Now, that was President John Dramani Mahama addressing the newly sworn-in Council of State members, urging them to deliver on the mandate expected of them from the Ghanaian people, as well as he himself as President of the Republic of Ghana. But then the chairman of the Council of State, Edward Doajaho, has reaffirmed the Council's commitment to supporting President John Dramani Mahama in strengthening governance. His assurance follows the swearing-in of a 31-member advisory body by the President on Tuesday, February 18, 2025. The Council comprises both elected and appointed members following elections held on February the 11th and 17th, 2025. Addressing the gathering, Doajaho dismissed calls for the abolition of the Council of State, stressing that the newly inaugurated body will play a crucial role in national development.
You have taken over the mantle of this country at a very difficult time. The debt of this country, the energy sector, debt, and many other challenges. Mr. President, in the discharge of our duties, we shall give you the necessary advice so that you can weather the storm. Teamwork, consensus building shall be our guidance. Mr. President, for those of us that you have appointed, we are most grateful that you have seen something in us, the 11 men and women that you appointed onto the council. I want to assure you, we will not fail you.
Now, that was the chairman of the Council of State, former Speaker of Parliament Edward Doajaho addressing the newly sworn-in members of Parliament, urging them to deliver on the mandate expected by the President and the people of Ghana, as well as dismissing calls for the abolition of the Council of State. Now, let's still stay on the Council of State because the former Chief Justice, Sophia Kufu, and now a member of the Council of State, has defended her right to be a part of the advisory body, emphasizing her qualifications and independence. The former Chief Justice is now a part of 31 members of the Council of State, with Edward Doajaho as their chairman. Now, speaking to journalists after their swearing in by the President at the Jubilee House yesterday, February 18th, she quizzed critics who questioned her nomination by the President. She stressed her advisory role on the Council of State and her commitment to providing honest and unbiased advice. Now, we unfortunately do not have that video, but subsequently, you want to visit MX24GH on Instagram or MX24 News on Instagram for the details of that conversation. But moving on, former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta is no longer wanted by authorities following a decision to withdraw the declaration that had labelled him a fugitive from justice. This development comes after the Office of the Special Prosecutor initially issued a wanted notice for Ofori-Atta in connection with an ongoing investigation into alleged financial misconduct. The Special Prosecutor's charges against Ken Ofori-Atta include involvement in the Strategic Mobilization GRA contract, the termination of the ECGBX contract, payments related to the National Cathedral, procurement of ambulances, and the utilization of the tax refund account. Now, a fresh statement indicated that Mr. Ofori-Atta has communicated to the OSP the date for his voluntary return. Now, let's walk you through the statement released by the OSP announcing his removal from the wanted list. Now, press release, Kenneth Nanaya Ofori-Atta. On February 12, 2025, the Special Prosecutor declared Kenneth Nanaya Ofori-Atta, a former Minister of Finance, a wanted person and a fugitive from justice on the ground that he had failed to indicate a reasonable time for his return to the jurisdiction, although he had been informed by the Office of the Special Prosecutor that he was a suspect in various suspected corruption and corruption-related cases, and he had been directed to physically attend the OSP in Accra on specified dates at a specified time for interviewing. Now, it goes on to say that on the 18th of February 2025, Mr. Ofori-Atta transmitted a communication through his lawyers to the OSP by which he stated a definite date of his voluntary return to the jurisdiction. This marks a major shift from Mr. Ofori-Atta's previous intention of remaining outside the jurisdiction indefinitely. Now, on February 18, 2025, the OSP acceded to Mr. Ofori-Atta's request as it deemed his statement date of voluntary return to the jurisdiction reasonable in the circumstances. Now, on the same date as February 18, 2025, the Special Prosecutor rescheduled the date of Mr. Ofori-Atta's attendance at the OSP, taking into account Mr. Ofori-Atta's stated date of voluntary return to the jurisdiction. Consequently, Mr. Ofori-Atta has been removed from the OSP's list of wanted persons, and the OSP ceases to consider Mr. Ofori-Atta a fugitive from justice pending his voluntary return to the jurisdiction, his stated date. If Mr. Ofori-Atta fails to voluntarily return to the jurisdiction by the stated date, and if Mr. Ofori-Atta fails to attend the OSP on the rescheduled date, he shall be re-entered on the OSP's list of wanted persons, and the OSP shall then consider him a fugitive from justice, and the OSP shall take all necessary legal steps to secure his return to the jurisdiction and attendance at the OSP at our own choosing. The OSP is committed to its mandate of ensuring accountability, guided by due process and fairness, and it was signed by Kisi Ejabeng on the 18th of February. The Special Prosecutor signed that. Well, so we already know that per the communication, he's supposed to return to the country by the end of May 2025. So it's going to give him a period of about 3 months to return to the country, because we're currently in February. So by May 2025, we should be seeing the return of, the former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta from wherever he is to serve the OSP and answer certain questions with regards to his charges against him, against corruption and corruption-related offences. Now, away from that, let's do communications, where the Minister of Communications, Digital Technology and Innovations has directed the Acting Director General of the National Communications Authority to take immediate enforcement action against several entities for operating without valid frequency authorizations in violation of Section 2.4 of the Electronic Commissions Act 2008, Act 775. Now, the entities affected by this directive include Fire Group of Companies in Sunyani operating on 90.1 megahertz, Wanza Consult Limited Tamale operating on 89.7 megahertz, Abo Channel Media Group operating on 105.7 megahertz, Ochiami Radio Limited in Bibieni operating on 99.7 megahertz, Mumun Bono Foundation Techiman operating on 99.7 megahertz, Osikeni Community FM in Kranta operating on 99.7 megahertz. Now, the Communications Ministry, in a statement on Tuesday, February 18, noted that these entities have failed to renew their authorizations, fulfilling statutory payment obligations, or submit the required documentation within the stipulated time frame. Now, let's run you through the statement released by the Minister. Now, the Honorable Minister for Communications, Digital Technology and Innovations has directed the Acting General Director of the National Communications Authority to take immediate enforcement action against the following entities for operating without valid frequency authorizations in violation of Section 2.4 of the Electronic Communications Act 2008, Act 775. Now, the entities affected include Fire Group of Companies in Sunyani operating on 90.1 megahertz, Wanza Consult Limited operating in Tamale on 89.7 megahertz, Abo Channel Media Group in Adidome operating on 105.7 megahertz, Ochiami Radio Limited in Bibieni operating on 99.7 megahertz, Mumen Bono Foundation operating in Techiman also on 99.7 megahertz, Osikeni Community FM operating also on 99.7 megahertz. Now, these entities have failed to renew their authorizations, fulfill statutory payment obligations, or submit the required document within the stipulated time frame. As a result, the authorizations have lapsed by operation of law, rendering their continued operations illegal. In accordance with this act, in accordance with Act 775, it is unlawful to operate a broadcasting service without a valid frequency authorization. The NCA will take the necessary steps to halt all unauthorized transmission and ensure compliance with the law. The ministry is continuing its review of the frequency authorizations audit and will provide further directives in due course. All frequency authorization holders are urged to comply strictly with the terms of their authorizations to avoid similar enforcement actions. And this was released yesterday from the Office of the Minister for Communications, Digital Technology and Innovations, Samuel Nate George. Away from that, let's do education, where President John Dramani Mahama has officially launched the National Education Consultative Forum, calling for collective action to reform Ghana's education system to meet 21st century demands. Addressing key stakeholders at the forum on Tuesday, February 18, the President emphasized the need for a unified platform to distill diverse perspectives into optimal outcomes for our children. Now, the President reaffirmed his administration's commitment to inclusive policy making in the education sector, stating that the forum was a fulfillment of his 120-day social contract with the good people of Ghana.
Students for service. That is the task we have, and by finding answers to the questions above and others, that will inform the discourses of this forum. It must be our collective responsibility to make recommendations that are far-reaching, that are transformative, and necessary for developing the global Ghanaian. There is a call to action for every stakeholder here today, and every Ghanaian across the country and in the diaspora. Their future depends on the decision we make and the actions we take today. And I'm happy that some of our members, our citizens from the diaspora, like Professor Champong, have come all the way to come and join us at this forum. And also Professor Benega, all the way from Australia. You're all welcome. As a government, we are fully committed to this process, and the outcomes of this conference, I assure you that your recommendations are not going to gather dust on a shelf.
Now, that was President John Dramani Mahama speaking at the launch of the National Forum for Education yesterday in the Volta region, specifically in Ho. Well, we hope to see the trajectory of this conversation because the stakeholders involved are going to be having discussions on how to retool our education system. Already, we know that after the committee was constituted, they had a tour of some schools within the country to pick up information from the teachers, parents, as well as students as to how to retool the education system, and are here to have the conversation. We are told that the report from this forum will be made available in March 2025. That is next month. We hope to see the details of that conversation. Let's still do education, where the National Union of Ghana Students has announced plans to stage a demonstration on Tuesday, February 25, 2025, in protest against the West African Examinations Council, WAEC, over the withholding and cancellation of results for some students who sat for the 2024 West African Senior School Certificate Examination. Now, NUGS has officially notified the Greater Accra Regional Police Command of the planned protest, emphasizing their demand for fairness and transparency in WAEC's assessment and result management processes. Now, in a statement issued on Tuesday, February 18, NUGS described WAEC's action as unjust and an abuse of direct discretionary power. Now, let's walk you through the statement released by the National Union of Ghana Students. NUGS notifies police of demonstration against WAEC over WASI 2024 results issue. Now, the National Union of Ghana Students, NUGS, has officially notified the Greater Accra Regional Police Command of its planned demonstration against the West African Examinations Council over the recent withholding and cancellation of results for some students who sat for the 2024 West Africa Senior School Certificate Examinations, WASI. The demonstration is scheduled to take place on Tuesday, February 25, 2025 at 9 a.m. starting at Obra Sport in Circle, Accra. Now, NUGS strongly condemns WAEC's actions, which have unfairly affected thousands of students. Even for those whose results have been released, the delay has rendered them ineligible for admission into public tertiary institutions, as all admissions processes have now been concluded. Additionally, students whose results have been cancelled are unable to register for remedial exams, as WAEC had already closed registration on January the 7th, 2025, before releasing the results. Now, this demonstration is a protest against what we see as injustice and an abuse of discretionary power by WAEC. NUGS demands urgent intervention to rectify the situation and ensure that affected students are given a fair opportunity to continue their education. We call on all affected students, parents, concerned stakeholders, and all students to join us in this fight for justice. Yours sincerely, Daniel Colley Botwe, President of the National Union of Ghana Students, signed that statement. Well, February 25, 2025 is already looking, like, well, we hope to see what happens with WAEC, but that's all for the morning news on the AM Club. Like I always say, the news ends here, but when you visit mx24.app/voting voices or MX24GH on all social media platforms and MX24 News on Instagram, well, so many options for you to choose from. You can read, update, be in the know while you are on the go and as you chase after your goals with Carbo Coffee. Yeah, but over to you, team. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you too for coming.
Yeah. Augustine, it's always good to have you. The stories were very exciting, interesting, but I know that you're following us on all our social media platforms and also on our websites to get very updated, because we're still following through with the 120 days social contracts we have with the president. So please stay right here with us. We're moving straight to some sports right after this.
It's www.mx24online.com for news, exclusive behind-the-scenes videos, up-to-the-minute sports updates, and the latest broken pen stories now. Experience more of MX24 Online. Visit mx24online.com today. MX24. Fun, fearless, and factual.
time for us to get into some sports. Thank you for sticking with us right here on the AM Club on MX24. My name is Kojo Dasabre. Let's get into sports. But before that, early, partial, and auto cash out, looking for more control over your bets. Cash out allows you to take an early payout on your bets before they are settled, meaning you are able to get your money back before the event is over and your bet is ultimately resulted. You either make a profit or get a portion of your initial bet back, depending on how your selection is doing at the time of your taking up the cash out. As I do know some people will be doing tonight, because Real Madrid and, Manchester City, when they are looking through and they are saying that, no, this one here is not going this way, no. Fast. I like cash outs. All right, so please kindly bet responsibly. Yes, you do know. Away from that, let's get into our first story. The first team of Asante Kotoko is set to resume training today, which will be their first since putting all football-related activities on hold. Now, Kotoko put a halt to all activities following the death of a fan, Francis Nanapole Frimpong in Soatre during the Porcupine Warriors Ghana Premier League defeat to Insurgman. However, the Kumasi-based side are set to return to their training base starting on today. This move does not signify their return to competitive action as their FA Cup game against Sekondi 11 Wise has been postponed. Now, AC Milan crashed out of the Champions League after being held to a draw by Feyenoord in the second leg of their knockout play-off at San Siro Stadium. Now, the Italians wiped out a 1-0 deficit in last week's first leg after just 36 seconds as Santiago Gimenez netted against his former club with the fastest goal in this season's Champions League. But Milan fullback Theo Hernandez was sent off in the 51st minute for 2 yellow cards, and Feyenoord substitute Julian Carranza headed in the decisive 73rd minute goal to seal a 2-1 aggregate success. The last 16 draw to be held on Friday will decide whether the Dutch club face Inter Milan or Arsenal next month. Milan. 6-7-4-6-2 defeat by Italy's Berrettini. World number 7 Djokovic was playing his first singles match since returning from his Australian Open semi-final against Alexander Zverev. Now, Berrettini, I beg your pardon, 28 years of age, took control of the first set tie break before breaking early in the second set and seeing out the victory on his second match point. It was his first win over Djokovic, who beat him in the final at Wimbledon in 2021 in 5 attempts.
Brilliant again.
your bets before they are settled. Now, meaning you are able to get your money back before the event is over and your bet is ultimately resulted. You either make a profit or get a portion of your initial bet back, depending on how your selection is doing at the time of you taking up the cash out. Visit the MX24 app to catch up on all the fun and excitement of the AM Club shows, featuring engaging conversations, thrilling live segments, and exclusive content you don't want to miss.
Catch up with all the fan, the breaking news stories, sports, and business insights on mx24online.com. Now let's take a deep dive into the world of entertainment and showbiz right after this.
Visit www.mx24online.com for news, exclusive behind-the-scenes videos, up-to-the-minute sports updates, and the latest broken pen stories now. Experience more of MX24 Online. Visit mx24online.com today. MX24. Fun, fearless, and factual.
Good morning. I hope you guys are doing well. You're welcome to Entertainment News segments right here on MX24 AM Club Coffee Daily. My name is Daphne Flashy. I have a story for you, Mimi.
You have a story for her.
You specifically
because how I got here.
Hey.
My God.
Your God is good.
Your God is good.
Pentecost Nyame.
I will lift him
Flashy
up
Nyame. People ask, hey. I know.
What happened?
I say, I was on the host of my know. Opposite to this. I'm a Pentecost woman. I know. Monday to Friday,
Saturday night coffee. Mr. Pentecost suffer by saying to be asked.
Seriously, let's take a look at it. No, a blocks away. It's a because I know. Let's get into it. What's trending? Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Let me catch my breath.
Take a deep breath. Breathe in.
Breathe in. Out.
I just know I survived. I'm a survivor.
We'll play the song for you. I'm a survivor.
My God.
Anywho.
Let's get into the entertainment stories. Now, after a very long time of people accusing her for killing her mother, Mama Sewa has finally come out to talk about the fact that she was suicidal when she was hearing it. In fact, it was a tearful interview. So let's take a look at the video. When we come back, we dissect more. Anyway, so
it was a thing?
It was a thing.
She was accused of killing her mom?
She was accused that she used her mom for rituals to become more famous. The video is going to be played for you very soon, but it's very, very sad.
This is so
very
sensitive.
sad. And in fact, I've seen people break down on TV before, but this one, it felt, she spoke about the fact that they had to take her phone from her, monitor her because she was suicidal. Let me quickly get into it. Ghanaian actress Mama Sewa has opened up about the emotional distress she suffered after her mother's death, including false accusations that she was responsible for the tragedy. The Kumewood star revealed that the hurtful rumors pushed her to the brink of depression, leading to suicidal thoughts and caused her to question her own identity. Mama Sewa shared that she was severely impacted by the public backlash, which restricted her access to her phone, and led her to her feeling like she had lost herself, emphasizing the devastating effects of malicious gossip on mental health. If the video is ready, we'd like to take the video, if it's ready. Okay. So yes, Mimi, mental health issues.
Nah, man. I never knew that there was a point where she was accused of being... No, but that's sad.
That's sad. In fact, she actually said it in the video, that this was a difficult time for her because Mama Sewa is actually her mom that pushed her, put her into the, industry. So it was like, why didn't people see her as a little sister who just lost something? She actually said it in the video.
to be honest with you, I thought it was really sad. I was actually even wondering how she was going to survive an industry like that. That, by the way, even when her mom was around, there were some allegations that some people were moving to her while she was growing. There were some sexual harassments in the system. But for her mom being around, she would have been. We had stories like that, and so I was wondering, I mean, one would say her covering is not there. How will she survive? And then there was a point where I saw a photo of her and I'm like, hey, God, if her mom was here, we will not see something like this in my mind. Like, that was, like, as a mother, I'm thinking the mom wouldn't have allowed this. And I was saying that, see, everybody really needs their moms in their lives. And I was really, really worried for her. I never heard it, not once did I ever hear that she was accused of, killing her mom.
All right, let's take a look at the video. We'll be right back.
This is the first time I make TV. I tried to harm myself, like so many occasions. Yes. Like, me be who say, like, what's my purpose?
Me innocent. Why?
Why? And I felt say, even though me special say me mommy be free mo, but I felt say, why?
You should rather sympathize with me.
I felt say, oh dear, me be free mo. Like at that time no, and I'm here a rechiche, me here and send be a bit, and me phone chromoje. Because they didn't want me to go on social media to see all these kind of comments or even read all these comments.
And it's really sad that just because we decided to be on the front line and entertain you, you think that you have the right to put us down like this. And it happens every single time. I remember when the California fires happened and Paris Hilton lost her home. Her home, she's been staying there for a very long time before she bought her new home. People said, we don't care, you get a new one. Meanwhile, this home had memories. So why does it have to be like that? Like, it's crazy why it has to be like that. It's as if public figures don't have feelings. That's what it is. It's crazy.
I think I've said this here more than once that, see, it's either you develop a tough skin or you leave the industry. It's two things. Because the opinion leaders on the social media and the media space or wherever they find themselves will not leave you alone.
When does it stop?
It will never stop.
It's crazy.
From when this public figure status was introduced, you can go all the way back to those who were. You want to talk about Ghana? Mami Dokno was started slave queen then.
I know.
She was said to have slept with all the big men then.
Yeah.
So this thing is not something that is going to die off anytime soon. That's why I said it's either you leave the industry or you grow a tough skin for it.
Yeah.
Even this chick, what's her name? Nadia Buhari, who decided that her personal life will not be on social. Do you know what she was starting at some point?
Oh wow.
The most boring. Creative was a most boring celebrity. Yes,
I see.
Yes, someone did a whole article. Go and Google it. It's there. That she was the most boring, just because she won't put her business out there. So even not putting your business out there, can even get you into trouble or can get you to be talked about. So it's either you grow a tough skin or you leave.
I mean, sometimes these tough skins, it will break. Like something like this, something as sensitive like this. See. See.
God help you.
For me, I think it's an occupational hazard.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's part of the game. It's part of it. It's part of it. It's like a sacrifice. It's more like you've laid down
your
yourself
life
for it.
You laid aside your majesty.
They will nail you to the cross.
Wow.
For whatever reason it is.
I mean, even Jesus Christ.
They'll come for you.
Yeah.
They'll definitely come for you. So it's about it. And
it is what it is.
If you're going to really just, and when it starts, sometimes it starts little, and it starts at a point where you might also just think that, oh, way is just one of those things. And when they are seeing that they are not really getting you, then they start going for the harder parts.
Sensitive. Because I mean, with Mami Sawa, they were trying with you've done your body and this is it. Even in that interview, she actually spoke about the fact that she's not gone under the knife before. But they were going with that, and then when it wasn't really getting her, they had to hit.
That's how it is. They'll hit you hard. So when you're getting into the industry, which you know definitely you will be out there, then Charlie.
Me, I'm growing a tough skin. Mimi has taught me not to cry.
Sister.
Mimi has taught me not to cry.
Me, I see me what transgender.
Someone called me a whale. It's for another time.
Yeah, whale. Shark.
Anyway, we're moving on to the next story. Let's take a look at standards. So a Nigerian lady set a standard saying that if you do not know Pastor Nathaniel Bassey or Apostle Joseph Selman, you can't marry her. Let's take a look at the screenshots. Now, with that, Pastor Nathaniel Bassey had a lot to say. He said, you can't use me as the rate of heaven or something. But this is what, I saw a video on IG where a lady was saying, how can a man she wants to marry not know AJS and Pastor Nath? I really wonder, when did this become a yardstick for who you should marry? Also shows me that this stems from the perspective that listening to certain ministers is a yardstick. God help us. Let's take a look at the next one. Now, Pastor says, my dear brothers and sisters, you are blessed. Just note of caution. Please let's be careful and guided so we don't turn our passion to unholy obsession. Not knowing Nathaniel Bassey on any of the young, vibrant servants of God being used does not make you any less of a Christian. In fact, there are so many Christians who have never heard of me nor my music. It doesn't make them any less Christians. They don't have to know me. I'm not the best thing after sliced bread. I do not even see myself in that manner. Those of us joining should never look down on those joining. Those who are not joining should also not look down on those. That's Hallelujah Challenge. Let not him that eateth, despite him that eateth not. Not let him which eateth not judge him that eateth, for God hath received him. Romans 14 verse 3, let every man wherein he is called abide. 1 Corinthians 7:24. Now, okay, there's more. For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as God hath dealt to every man the measure of faith. Also, not joining the Hallelujah Challenge does not make you less a Christian. People are free to connect with what's best for them. I describe it in this way. Apples don't grow everywhere. It doesn't mean the places apples don't grow are bad. It may just not be apples' environment. Now, let's take a look at some comments. Someone says, thank you, Pastor Nathaniel, for putting the attention back on Jesus. When you do your assignments, there is the temptation for people who have been blessed by your ministry to have a God like Anna on you. It is your duty as a man of God to redirect their focus on God, else they will be committing idolatry, which is a sin before God. Apostle Joshua Selman deliberately redirects our attention back to God when he sends it. We put him as the focus so we don't put him in trouble with God. Someone says, you know Davido, but you don't know Pastor Nathaniel Bassey. Someone says, I have a friend here in a remote area in Uganda, no smartphone, just a button phone. She fellowships with Love World Church Pastor Chris. She's passionate about Jesus. I have seen her win souls, do great things for the kingdom. One day I asked if she knew Pastor Nathaniel, Minister Dunsing, Moses Bliss, and other ministers. She had never heard of them, probably because of the environment and access, but it doesn't mean she loves God any less. Now, this last one really gets me. Now, me before 2023, now I can't marry you if you don't know Apostle Joshua Selman, Pastor Nath, and Apostle James Kawalia, period. I don't care if you live in a bush without Wi-Fi. You are a red flag because what we discuss even. P.S. I understand those who find that statement disturbing. They are simply not my type. Oh, this is it.
Why? Wait.
Wow.
until I saw the statement from them, would have said that, Charlie, people get preferences. They would rather connect with people that they feel understand.
Is it a good preference? I get a standard, like...
I cannot say what is good or not. But in recent times, I've noticed something that some men of God are doing, and I absolutely love it. Redirecting the Christians back to the focus. What is supposed to be the focus? I recently saw Reverend, is it Pastor Mensa Otobo, do same. And a few other men of God in Nigeria do this. The focus is Jesus. It's not the messenger, it's the message. We're talking about the message that is the message of salvation. Whoever delivers it is not the focus, right? And so if we have men of God who are saying that, listen, stay focused, unlike what we used to see in the past, where men of God made themselves the reason for the season. I'm just saying that. But listen, this redirection and this message is profound, it's very applaudable, and that's what we need to continuously do. People are focusing on their men of God, on gospel musicians as their reason for serving God. Like, oh my God, Victoria Reza is my girl, and yeah, if she's not the one preaching, I'm not listening.
I'm not listening. Yeah.
It's not what it is. That's not what's supposed to be.
But it beats my imagination that even after he took his time to put out a tweet,
someone still came back.
People still under the comment section
saying, you're not going to get everybody to get on board with you, but at least they've done the Lord's work. They didn't leave that message to just fly.
But that's what the lady said is going to be idolatry now.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So it's important that they made that statement. That's where it ends. It should just stay there.
Yeah, he's been able to clarify that. And I would have had a problem if maybe he would have kept quiet about it and let it go, because that would be like, it will keep on going on and keep on going. Please, me, I have never joined Hallelujah Challenge before. It doesn't make me less of a Christian. You get it? Yeah. Although I know Pastor Nathaniel Bassey. Although, what's his name? Apostle Joshua Selman is someone that I would like maybe see, maybe on social media, I'll just see maybe a preaching of his and I'll just listen and then I'll just pass by. You get it? I don't attend his church. I've never been to a service where he's been here that I've attended before. You get it? So does that say that, okay, it's saying it, yeah, I'm not a Christian anymore? No. And I don't know why people are going to use that as standards for... Standard. I don't know. The marriage part is what I don't get.
Yeah, you can't marry him if you don't know Pastor.
If you don't know Nathaniel Bassey, if you don't join Hallelujah Challenge to pray with me...
You can't marry
Or you don't listen to Joshua Selman because of the teachings that he teaches, no. You can't marry. That being standard.
That being red flag.
That being standard.
Hey, she said red flag. It's a red flag.
Yeah. How you?
Somebody's red flag. All right. We're moving on to the last story, and guess what? After 3 weeks of going back and forth in the courtroom, A$AP Rocky is free. Now, their freedom, no, it's, you know, some people, they're in the courtroom, don't respect themselves. When they say not guilty, they'll wait. When they go out, thinking, this man jumped and went to hug Rihanna. And
the way this man is obsessed with
Rihanna. I know.
I love it. Hey, God.
I know.
From my lips to your ears.
All right, so A$AP Rocky has been found not guilty of felony assault charges stemming from a 2021 altercation with former friend A$AP Relly, a.k.a. Terrell Efron. The jury delivered the verdict after a 3-week trial, which was marked by questionable evidence and accusation of financially motivated testimony. Rocky's defense team argued that there was no real gun involved, only a starter gun firing blanks, and highlighted the lack of concrete evidence, including no recovered bullets, confirmed gun, or forensic proof. Rihanna, Rocky's longtime partner, was present in court for the verdict, and the rapper faced up to 24 years in prison if found guilty and convicted. Now, yesterday I saw Rihanna's story. She was like, all thanks be to God. God, thank you for showing me mercy. I was like, girl, woo, whoop, whoop, look at her. So the glory belongs to God and God alone. Thankful, humbled by his mercy. And she should go and play gospel songs. She should go and sing gospel songs. Yes.
Because?
Yes. Great is your mercy.
Congratulations to him.
I know. Let's take a look at the video when he was said he wasn't guilty.
This is the first time.
He's raising now. He can't do 24 years. Like, in fact, his heart was beating. I'm sure. I'm sure. Oh, yeah.
Anywho, congratulations to him.
Congratulations.
I'm very happy for Rihanna because this is how my family's back together. Yeah.
You know, and to think that back then they asked who A$AP Rocky was, and she said she was the. No, they asked A$AP Rocky who Rihanna was. Those times when they were friends, and he said, "Oh, that's the homie." That's the homie.
That's my homie.
The homie has turned to wifey. Yes.
May everybody's homie become wifey in Jesus' name.
Amen. JKD, I can see you've been stalking me. Because why am I wishing somebody happy birthday? You come to ask me, hey, we talk.
That's the same way when it goes south. You'll be the same person.
Why are you wishing south now? Let's stay in the east. Exceptional benefits as the entire journey, 73, so that we can further.
To Telecel fixed broadband today, and new customers get 50% or use the Telecel Play app or visit.
Exclusive behind-the-scenes videos, up-to-the-minute sports updates, and the latest broken pen stories now. Experience more of MX24 Online. Visit MX24 Online.
Every day is packed with its own surprises. You never know which thrill is around the corner.
Feel good. Feel good.
Or how it will play out. There's a sense of excitement